So right now, I'm going to give you something binary. Keep this with you. The white liberal is the biggest enemy to mankind. The black Democrat is his equal. They are an evil institution. Party of pervert, liars, psychopaths, and anti-Christian bigots. Malcom X warned us about them over 50, 60 years ago. You can let us look at his prophecy now and see that he told the truth. He warned us about Martin Luther King Jr. and the black preachers that were going to be used to press their agenda forward in the black community. And he told us they were going to destroy us. And right now, America is dying because of these people. And they say full steam ahead.
But thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Department of Common Sense. I'm your host, Director H, and the H is for him, in case you didn't know. Hey, look, man, on the day, we gonna be reacting to and reviewing a video from Vince Ellison, pretty much talking about liberals, white liberals, the Democrats, and why they are a detriment to us in this country, especially, you know, my skin folks. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Hey, they are a real detriment to us, and a lot of us don't know it. We don't see it. Y'all are still voting like your great-grand in them, because all you know what they told you. You never actually got into politics and things yourself and learning the thing. But, hey, no shade. It's never too late. I had to do it myself. So, I'm not going to hold y'all up too much longer with all this talking. I will be in and out giving my commentary on the video, but we're going to get into it. Vince Ellison, shout out to him for the video. And like, comment, subscribe, you know, especially if you rock with me, because I'm trying to get up in this algorithm and build a channel, become part of the Department of Common Sense, be part of the staff, and let's rock out together, man. Let's get into
it. Man, this No King's March this past week highlighted the lunacy of the left, but it also highlighted the intelligence and the prophecy of the late, great Malcom X. For you people that don't know, Malcolm told us in the 60s who these white liberals were and how they were going to use black people to get what they wanted. He explained it to the world. And most people, Malcolm don't know what he's talking about. Malcolm is a hate teacher. Malcolm da, 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 da.
That white person that you see calling himself a liberal is the most dangerous thing in the entire Western Hemisphere. He's the most deceitful. He's like a fox. And a fox is always more dangerous in the forest than the wolf. You can see the wolf coming. You know what he's up to. But the fox will fool you. He comes at you with his mouth shaped in such a way that even though you see his teeth, you think he's smiling.
You're the one who put the present Democratic administration in Washington, D.C. The whites were evenly divided. It was the fact that you threw 80% of your votes behind the Democrats that put the Democrats in the White House. When you see this, you can see that the Negro vote is the key factor. And despite the fact that you are in a position to be the determining factor, what do you get out of it? The Democrats have been in Washington, D.C. only because of the Negro vote. They've been down there 4 years. And all other legislation they wanted to bring up, they brought it up and gotten it out of the way, and now they bring up you. And now they bring up you. You put them first and they put you last. Because you're a chump. A political chump. In Washington, D.C., in the House of Representatives, there are 257 who are Democrats. Only 177 are Republicans. In the Senate, there are 67 Democrats. Only 33 are Republicans. The party that you bash controls 2/3 of the House of Representatives and the Senate, and still they can't keep their promise to you because you're a chump.
You heard it, man. Y'all chumps. These folks keep playing in y'all face, and y'all keep voting for them. Y'all keep defending them. Y'all keep standing behind their bullshit. I don't get it. I don't know if it's cognitive dissonance or y'all really just not paying that much attention and you just going with what you think you know or going with the flow. Whatever it is, I need to stop.
And we watch this No Kings rally, and it should be the No Martin Luther King rally is what it should have been. And we saw all of these old, dried up white liberals out there raising more hell than anybody. You know why? Because they are watching their whole world come apart. Everything they've planned over the last 50 years is now coming apart. Do you know why it's coming apart? It is not coming apart because the mainstream media or because the newspapers are telling you. It's coming apart because of podcasts like these.
He means us here at the Department of Common Sense. So like, comment, most importantly, subscribe so you can be part of the team and join the charge. Let's go.
We are not asking permission. We are telling you what's going on. And we're looking at these idiots out there, these white liberals who have used the black community over the past 50, 60 years to press a Marxist, communist agenda here in the United States of America. And Malcolm X saw it coming back in 1963. And he saw that Martin Luther King Jr. and the NAACP and black politicians were the catalysts behind it. Well, they were being used by white liberals. I call this group the Iron Triangle. Y'all heard me talk about it. Most black preachers, most black politicians, most black civil rights workers. I told you that they were being used as conduits by rich white liberals to keep black people under the control of the Democratic Party. Now, I didn't know Malcolm X had said this when I came up with this theory. I started doing my research, and, you know, I was talking to Charlie Kirk about it. I was on Charlie's show, and Charlie pulled out this clip of Malcolm X, basically saying the same thing that I was saying. Malcolm talked about how the white liberal is the biggest enemy that the black man ever had, the biggest enemy that America had ever had.
There are many whites who are trying to solve the problem, but you never see them going under the label of liberals. That white person that you see calling himself a liberal is the most dangerous thing in the entire Western Hemisphere. He's the most deceitful. He's like a fox. And a fox is always more dangerous in the forest than the wolf. You can see the wolf coming. You know what he's up to. But the fox will fool you. He comes at you with his mouth shaped in such a way that even though you see his teeth, you think he's smiling. And you take him for a...
That is Malcom X. Our guest is Vince Ellison. Vince, talking about that triangle, in your own words, the Iron Triangle.
I just want to jump in here and say this. If you haven't seen this episode of the Charlie Kirk show with Vince, or haven't watched the Charlie Kirk show at all, I highly advise you go watch it. This is a great episode. And also, if you have any inkling that Charlie Kirk was racist or had anything against black people or the black community or wanted to see black people in a bad way or something, I highly advise you go watch this episode. Great episode. Just wanted to drop it in there. Let's get back to it.
I want to ask you about a specific issue that I do not think is going to resonate at all in black America, and that is this trans issue. Out of all the white liberal idea pathogens, the one that I see really some resistance, some disagreement, some kind of what the hell are you doing, is trying to trans black youth. Am I correct in that assumption?
Charlie, you're 100% correct. I mean, and here's the thing. We have to make sure that the black community understands that the Democratic Party is behind it. You're going to any black church on Sunday morning. Oh, they're talking about transgenderism. They're talking about LGBTQ. They're talking about killing, dope, fighting, and crime. But they'll tell you to go vote for the very same Democrat politician that's pushing it all. Why? Because we never ever put it together in a nice little box and say that the Democratic Party is behind us and that the Democrat Party congressman that you're voting for is the guy that's pushing it. And if you keep on voting for this guy, you're going to send your own soul to hell.
And when you look around now, you see that it's true. Sadly, you got these black ministers who are the worst. I mean, the worst people in the history of the world. They're just terrible men. Still pressing the same stupid ideology. Talking about white supremacy. talking about victimization, talking about you can't make it in America no matter how hard you try. Then we got the systemic racism.
All right, let me jump in here. I want to lay my 2 cents on this before we go a little further. I don't disagree with him at all on that. Yeah, I think that the church, religion, like, is part of the problem. You already have ministers who use the word for their own good and switch and swap it up and lead you down the wrong path, continue to lead you down the wrong path. Somebody would tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, look, you're going the wrong way. And you would say, nope, pastor said this is it. And y'all gone. That's it. But me personally, I'm not a believer. I'm not religious at all. That's why this is Department of Common Sense. We stand on common sense, morals. You know, you kind of innately know a lot of things. When it comes to religion, you only know that because it was taught to you. If it was never given to you, you wouldn't have it. And on top of that, I'm going to say this. I'm going to let him get back into the video. And y'all black folks scream racism and talk about slavery and what they did. And y'all try to disassociate yourself and put yourself as far away from that as possible. And y'all will let go of everything but Jesus.
Let me tell you something. I'll make this binary for y'all. Put this in your pipe, smoke it, keep it, put it in your pocket. Any black man that you hear complaining about white supremacy, he's a sissy. He's an ankle-grabbing, pink panty-wearing punk sissy. Tell him I said it. Walk around looking at other people in the eye and saying out of his mouth that white supremacy exists. White supremacy is like voodoo. You have to believe in it for it to have any power over you. I mean, good gracious, man, you can't expect a white man to walk around and you try to make him feel inferior about himself. I know that's what y'all trying to do. I was talking with this white lady the other day, and this is one of the things I'm trying to do, best as I can. I want to get my white brothers and sisters in America out of this concept of condemnation. You are not responsible for what has happened to me. I am. I am a free man. I was born free. According to John Locke, my freedom, it is irrevocable, non-transferable, and it's unsellable. If a person makes me a slave, he's made me a slave with my permission. Eleanor Roosevelt said, nobody can make you feel inferior without your permission. Nobody can oppress you without your permission. Nobody no one can make you feel small without your consent. And we have too many of these men that are consenting.
Winston Churchill also once said, if you're not a liberal when you're young, you have no heart. But if you're not a conservative when you're older, you have no brain. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Bunch of crybabies. And they've got these white liberals over here that Malcom X talked about, who took the moral absolutism of anti-Christian bigotry in America, and they rode it to power. So there was an ideological civil war going on, especially down south between black and white Christians. That's all it was. It wasn't so much as a political showdown. It was more of an ideological showdown between two Christian sects. It's like a Cain and Abel fight down here between black and white Christians. And black Christians want it to be accepted by white Christians. End of story. And white Christians, a lot of them said, we don't want to accept you. And of course, black Christians felt some type of way about that. Crying and sniveling and looking in the window, wanting to integrate, wanting to fight to get into their schools, as opposed to saying, I tell you what, player, I love you. If you don't love me, that's your problem. You don't want me in your restaurant, I'll go build a better restaurant. I'll invite you to it. Feed you for free. If you don't want me in your schools, that's fine. I'll go build a better school. Better colleges, better universities. I'll invite you to mine. You can go for free. If you don't want me in your neighborhoods, I'll build a better neighborhood. You can come move in mine if you want to. That's love.
And that's the shit I'm talking about. Integration was the degradation of the black nation. Now, I'm no colorist or none of that or nothing. I just tell the truth. It's just common sense. Black people did way better when they were on their own. We had our own economy. We didn't care that them folks didn't like us. We didn't care that them folks didn't want us over there. Man, those were some young minds, young liberal minds, led by Martin Luther King. Yeah, he was tricked. Like I said, if you're not a liberal when you're young, you have no heart. And that was exploited. It was exploited. They tricked us. They tricked them. And it fucked us. I believe there was a better way to do it without begging. It would have eventually happened anyway. It's just the way it happened, it put us in a fucked up position. And that's why to this day you still have people screaming racism and races and this and that because they don't like how something went, or they not willing to put in the work to do something, and they think their failure is the result of somebody that don't like them. We got to get out. You all have to get out of that mindset, because I'm definitely not in it. I haven't been in a long time, because like I said, I used to be there. I used to be one. That's why that quote is staying so strong in me. But like I said, man, he hitting the nail on the head right now. This was the turning point that crumbled the black economy, and the reason why to this day, you know, unity, we can't get together, we can't do nothing, we can't make nothing, can't have our own. And it wasn't even about separating and having our own, you know what I'm saying? It was just about doing us. If they come rock with us, they can't rock with us. We didn't care that they didn't want us over there. We had us, we was good. But hey, the white man ice was colder. But we're going to get back into it. Let's go.
Instead, they decided to go to Washington, D.C., get laws passed, and instead of building up their own, wanted to put a gun to the people's heads and force them to accept them into their spaces. And the white liberals screwed up black people's minds to a point where they believed that the white man's ice was colder, the white man's fire was hotter. You know, when I wrote my book, The Iron Triangle. Again, as I said before, Book Authority gave it number 61, the greatest political books ever written in the history of the world. In the last chapter of Iron Triangle, I wrote about a story that my father told me when I was a boy about my great-grandfather. We called him Big Daddy. His name was Abby Bond. The stories I've been told about my grandfather or my great-grandfather were legend. He didn't suffer fools. He was a man of ultimate respect. And people respected Abby Bond. He had 14 children. My grandmother was one of them. She was the eldest. My grandmother was the eldest child in that family, and my mother was the eldest child in my grandmother's family. My grandmother had 16 children, so I have a large family. He lived in a small town called Mercer, Tennessee. Big Daddy died in the late 1970s. I don't remember the exact year. But Daddy tells me this story, that after the 1964 Civil Rights Act passed, he was taking Big Daddy to the train to the bus station. Big Daddy at this time maybe in his 60s. And all of his life, he lived in the segregated South. And it didn't bother him, White people didn't want Big Daddy around. Big Daddy wasn't going to be around them. So when he went to the train station, he had been keeping up with the news, and he didn't know that this 1964 Civil Rights Act had been passed, and the colored waiting rooms and the white waiting rooms were no longer a thing. So Big Daddy's instinct told him traditionally to go to the colored waiting room, which was fine with him. So he went up there and he sat down to wait for the bus to come. My father tells me this story. He said he told Big Daddy, my father's a young man at this time. Daddy's probably about maybe 23, 24. And he told Big Daddy, he said, Mr. Ivy, you don't have to sit over there on the colored people's side no more. You can come over and sit where white folks sit. And he said, Big Daddy bent over and looked over on that side of the room. He said, sure enough. He said, yes, sir. My daddy said proudly. He said, Big Daddy said, well, I'm going to come over there and just see how the floor walk. He said, Big Daddy got up, walked across the floor, reared back and forth a little bit on it, walked across again, stomped on the floor a bit, and looked at my daddy and said, floor don't walk no different. Went back over on the color side and sat back down again. The floor don't walk no different. They've been trying to get him to believe for years that there was something over there on the white side that was better than what he had on the black side. What's Big Daddy saying? You got nothing, you don't have anything better than what I have. It's all up here. Your white supremacy is up here. Your black inferiority is up here. Your self-hatred for yourself is up here. They want to tell black conservatives that we hate ourselves. No, you hate yourselves. You're the ones that live in the ghettos. You're the ones that have the subpar schools. You are the ones that are the most violent people in the industrialized world. There's nobody in America more violent. Nobody in the world more violent than the American black man. Murder and crime. Jail. There's no one more promiscuous right now than the American black woman without a wetlock births and what we show on television with the hip hop and the rappers from Cardi B to Glorilla to Sexy Red, to all these nasty skanks out here who pollute the airways with their silly gyrations and actions in the ghettos. And you try to strut around, and because we hold America and African Americans up to a higher standard, you say, we hate ourselves? No, we don't hate ourselves. We don't like you. We love you, but we don't like you. Here's a good question. You love your neighbor as you love yourself. Suppose you hate yourself. That's the question, isn't it? See, if you inject fentanyl into your system, or you'll give it to your neighbor. If you're obese and don't want to work out, you'll tell your neighbor they don't have to. If you're dumb and ignorant and don't go to school, you'll tell your neighbor they don't have to. If you hate yourself, you're going to treat your neighbor with hatred. But if you love yourself, if you believe in education, you're going to tell your neighbor, come on, let's get educated. If you believe in being healthy, you're going to drive your neighbor to get healthy. If you believe in living a good, chaste life and going to church, you're going to have your neighbor go to church with you. Love your neighbor as yourself, but first you got to love yourself. And these people talk about, we hate ourselves. No, you hate yourself. Why? Look at us and look at you. You live in ghettos, slums, trash, graffiti. Wherever there is disorder, that's where the devil rules. Jesus lives in order, cleanliness, families, suburbs, no crime. You go into a ghetto, jokers' pants pulled down, look like they just rolled out of bed, that look like fools, acting like fools, violence, fighting. And because we hold ourselves up, you say we hate ourselves? Psh. Let's make this plain. If you say you black, I ain't it, okay? I have nothing in common with you people. Nothing.
Now, as a reformed miscreant myself, I have to say he's exactly right. You know, I used to be with the shit. You know what I'm saying? I used to be a red, ignorant, hard-head motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no angel. I wasn't no angel. None of that coming up. I used to be real stupid. You couldn't tell me nothing. I ain't want to learn nothing. But as I got older, you know, I started to grow. Not only in age, but mentally and in mindset. And as I did, I found myself putting further and further away from people with my old attitude. And as I've grown up, I have a very conservative mindset because despite most people, even Democrats, your lifestyle is, especially black Democrats, your lifestyle is conservative. For some reason, you just vote Democrat and don't even know what they stand for. But as I've gotten older and in a different mindset, and I ain't with all that, I despise a lot of that, and I know how it makes people look at us. And I used to have the attitude, I don't care, I don't give a fuck, I don't fuck what they think. Shit, we us, we can't do us, we can't have fun. It's a thing called integrity though. And we have to learn and have more of it. The sooner and the more the better. It get you a whole lot further in life, and you get a whole lot more respect from the world, no matter the race or color of people. But once you start to think like that, and you come over into that fold, you know, the word of common sense and respect and morals, oh man, they drag you through the mud. You're coon, Sambo, Uncle Tom, and you're with the white man, all that. You racist, you hate yourself. But it's all a deflection. It's all a deflection to shut down the conversation so you don't continue it and they can stay stuck in their completely wrong mindset and believe what they want to believe. Because for some people, to admit they're wrong, even though they were taught wrong, it's like accountability. They can't take that. You feel me? But we got a few more minutes, man. We're going to get up out of here. Appreciate y'all rocking with me if you're still here rocking with me. If you got this far, I know you're going to like that thing. So like, comment, subscribe, man. Here we go.
Anyone that believes they cannot be inferior to anyone who believes that white supremacy is like the weather, you can't stop it. You build a shelter around it. You don't control the weather. You build a house, and you control what's inside of the house. What is your shelter? to racism. It's not trying to get the racist to not be a racist. That is a waste of time. Like the weather, racism will always exist, but you can control yourself. You control what people do. You control how you respond to it. That's the only control that you have. And what's your control of racism? You're 38. To black racism, to white racism, all of it. You're going to find bad people on either side, on either side. Black bad people, good bad people, bad white people, good white people, bad Jewish people, good Jewish people, bad Hispanic people, good Hispanic people, all kinds. You use logic for the educated man and the gun for the fool. Be prepared for either at any time in your life. So right now, I'm going to give you something binary. Keep this with you. The white liberal is the biggest enemy to mankind. The black Democrat is his equal. They are an evil institution. Party of pervert, liars, psychopaths, and anti-Christian bigots. Malcom X warned us about them over 50, 60 years ago. You can let us look at his prophecy now and see that he told the truth. He warned us about Martin Luther King Jr. and the black preachers that were going to be used to press their agenda forward in the black community. And he told us they were going to destroy us. And right now, America is dying because of these people. And they say full steam ahead. They're not trying to slow it down. They're trying to speed it up. But they have reached their high water mark in America. They reached their picket's charge. Yeah. It's like when the Nazis rolled into Paris, took France in 6 weeks. They didn't know that they had reached their high water mark. They were going to run into Winston Churchill in Great Britain in the Battle of Britain, and Churchill was going to turn them back. And then the Americans were going to come. And they were going to come to the island of Great Britain and launch the D-Day invasion and run Hitler out of Europe. His high water mark was when he came into Paris. Well, the Democrats' high water mark was Joe Biden. And now we're running them back. And as Malcolm said, we're going to put them on their heels and we're going to hit them 100 punches around and we're going to make sure they never ever rise their heads again in the United States of America. They're done. So to the white liberal traitors and the black Democrats in the Iron Triangle, who are their brown shirts, foot soldiers, and pawns in this game, you're already defeated. And it is a happy day in America. So now that you people have decided you want to castrate little boys and call them little girls and cut off the breasts of little girls and call them little boys and have 9-month abortion and have drag queens shaking your behinds in children's faces and having demented men going to the bathrooms without children, demented men in sports without children, without daughters, yeah. You've reached your high water mark in America. You're done.
Hey, thank y'all for watching, man. Shout out to Vince for this video. He said so much in this. He said it all, and it's still more to be said. And it will be more said. Man, y'all got to wake up, man. We all have to come together. We got to see through these lies, man. We can't keep letting these folks take us down. We cannot let them destroy America. You feel me? Because this is my country, tis of thee, sweet land of liberty. And I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. So comment, and please subscribe so we can talk some sense into their ass. I'm your host, Director H. This is the Department of Common Sense, man. I'll see y'all next time. Thank you. Good night.